Good morning, everybody. It is day 15 of 84 of the suffering. Have 70 more days to go. So it is definitely adding up. The days are stacking up, that's for sure. I am so tired this morning. Like, holy crap, I'm tired. Okay, I got my coffee going. I just took my pills, gonna make my protein shake and my oatmeal. And head to work. I'll see you guys on my walk.
No pretty sunrise today. The weather's supposed to be pretty ugly all week. Still a unique morning, and every morning's unique in its own way, but I'm a lot more awake now than I was earlier. And like I was saying, my weight is 234.8. Last Monday, my weight was 235.4. So I'm down 0.6 from last week, which is great. I also have my mic, so hopefully the audio is more consistent. I didn't wear it this morning because I figured I was in the house. It was pretty quiet. I didn't need to put it on. But hopefully this drowns out the freeway, and then it's more consistent for the audio, so you guys aren't like, oh my God, the audio is trash. It's a little walking around work with it. But anyways, oh yeah, so yesterday I was like 228.2 or something like that when I woke up. I can't remember, but I was around 228 when I woke up. And then by the end of the night, I was 239.8. So I was up by pretty much 12 pounds by the evening before I went to bed. And then overnight, I dropped all the way to right at 235. So I lost, because 234.8, right at 35. I was right at 240. So I pretty much lost 5 pounds of water weight overnight. So eating all those carbs and all that sodium ballooned me up 12 pounds, but throughout the course of the night, my body got rid of 5 of those pounds and water weight from sodium and glucose, and then my body stored the rest of it in the muscle tissue in the form of glucose. So I should be ready to go for another good week of pushing hard in the gym and making progress. Thanksgiving's on Thursday, so that's going to be a whole challenge in itself, trying to figure out how I'm going to stick to it. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to skip my chicken and rice at 3 and my oatmeal and protein at 6, and I'm just going to compensate those meals with Thanksgiving, and I'm going to eat the same amount of macros. It's just I'm going to get it from the Thanksgiving food instead of from, well, my diet, because it's Thanksgiving and I want to enjoy it with the family. Plus my wife's cooking all the sides, I'm cooking all the meats, smoking a turkey, and I'm going to enjoy all the money and time and effort we put into Thanksgiving. But it doesn't mean I have to go off the rails and go crazy and eat ridiculous. Be a lot more sodium in the food than what I'm used to getting. The only downside is the fat content. The fat content is going to be significantly higher because, well, all the butter and everything else and, all the sides and trimmings, fat makes food taste delicious, man. Sugar and fat together is one of the most addicting tastes you'll ever have because it just pairs so well. But I'm gonna make it through that later this week, see how that affects my weight. This is my last week of animal cuts. Then I have to take a week off because according to the recommendation, you run for 3 weeks and then you take 1 week off and then you repeat. I'm assuming because of diuretic, they don't want it to be too hard on your kidneys and stuff like that. I have noticed that my knees are a little tender, so I've been doing a lot of tissue work, trying to break up all that tightness in my hips and my quads and my legs. Whenever I do that, I do get a lot of relief in my knees, but I can still feel like tenderness in my knees, if that makes sense. And I think it's from the diuretic drying me out. I honestly think that's the only reason why I get that tenderness to begin with. So today is back night. I'm full of carbs and glucose. I'm looking forward to it, to seeing how my pump is. I'm getting leaner and leaner. If you guys have been watching the videos, you know the progress that I've been making over the last 15 days is pretty impressive. At least to me it is. My weight's dropping faster than I anticipated, but my muscle mass is staying the same size when I take my measurements. So I'm not stressed at all about seeing the scale jump that much. It's just progress, you know, making that forward progress. This is the starting of week 3 of week 12. Days are moving fast. Cardio sessions are stacking up. Things are getting improved. Clothes are fitting looser around my stomach and waist, but they're staying the same around my chest and shoulders. I mean, I really don't know how else to put it, but I'm making forward progress at everything I'm doing, and I'm really happy about it. Like, I just can't complain. The only thing is, this time of year, it's like I have Thanksgiving, and then like 2-3 weeks later I have my son's birthday, and then after that we have Christmas, and then after that we have New Year's, and then January I have my birthday. So this time of year I've never really got on a hard diet. Always more of like a maintenance, so that way I never have to feel like I'm breaking my diet, because the week of Thanksgiving I would normally enjoy myself Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday on all the Thanksgiving food that was left over. 2 weeks later, my son's birthday, I go out and I enjoy myself and eat as I pleased. And then in Christmas, we do the same thing. We have a big, huge feast. A lot of food's left over. I eat on that the whole rest of the week of Christmas up to New Year's. The New Year's, of course, we hang out. We don't always drink on New Year's, not big drinkers. So we would here and there, but not every time. If we would, it wouldn't be much. But then shortly after that, my birthday rolls around. So it's just like, there's always a new thing coming up and wanting to enjoy myself and just kind of hang out. And always like the first of the year, it's like time to get started back on this and let's get going. And then it'd be 3 months of no interruptions, well, except for my birthday basically. And then after that, like we could do it all the way up until pretty much October, you know, because nothing really falls. I mean, my wife's birthday, and then, which I normally time it where my wife's birthday, I take that week off anyways and we go out of town. But this year I'm not doing that. This year I'm sticking to it every single day, doing my best on the holiday itself, and then right back to it. No excuses. I have a goal, and if I keep allowing little things to get in my way and make excuses, I won't ever be able to do what I want to do, and that's be successful in bodybuilding. And I don't even care about a pro card. I don't think I'll ever be able to get one because of my pec. I just want to look good enough to be able to step on stage at a local show and not get dead last. That's the first goal, get my abs. Second goal, get into shape to be able to compete in bodybuilding. Third goal, actually compete and not get dead last. And then if I could win a local show, especially with a tore up pec like what I have, that'd be awesome, right? I don't have to win nationals, and I don't need to win a pro card and compete at a professional level. I just want to have fun, and I want to be able to compete at a local level and be competitive and just have fun while doing it. So, but all right, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off because I'm just rambling and I have a lot of energy. My pills kicked in, I'm not tired no more, so I'm like, I feel like talking. But I'm gonna put it down before people start showing up and kind of noticing me talk to myself. See y'all in a little bit. I figured I'd give you guys a little meal update of what I'm doing here. My second meal of the day has been chicken and carrots, so I figured I'd go ahead and switch things up a little bit to make it a little bit more exciting. So instead of doing chicken and carrots, I'm gonna do carrots and chicken instead. I think I'm gonna do it in that order, and that should make it a lot more interesting and kind of keep things from getting stagnant, because if you do the same thing for too long, eventually it gets really boring and it becomes actually more like, I guess, mind-numbingly dull and makes you want some type of excitement in your life. So I had to do something different. I just couldn't continue doing what I was doing. I had to change it up. We got to go home early because we are under tornado watch. I just took my pills, made my coffee, got my wife's Mama Bear mug, and then my food's in the microwave heating up. We were under tornado watch, so our boss was like, hey, there's nothing but sheet metal buildings here, so if y'all need to go home, go home. Like, if y'all need to go home, she pretty much told everybody, go home. So we went home, and now I get to finish my afternoon routine at the house instead of at work, which is okay with me. So I'm gonna eat and I get to hang out for a little bit and then work out. Wait for my wife to get off of work and work out. It is time for another wonderful back night. I got my mic, so the audio should be a lot better for you guys. I'm gonna get this barbell down and get started. Top set. What is this, 205? So this will be the first time I'm gonna be rowing 205 in this program. I'm gonna try to hit it for a rest pause if I get enough reps in the first go around. We'll see how it goes. I have a very slight pinch in my back. Very, very minor. Like I need to get my back popped or something, so this is either gonna make it worse or make it better. We'll see how it goes. I'm trying to get my mind mentally there. I'm tired today. I'm really tired. I don't know why. I'm so worn out. I couldn't possibly imagine it's doing cardio twice a day for an hour at a time, working out 7 days a week, working 5 days a week, and everything else that I do. I couldn't imagine that there's a reason. Being in a deficit, you know, losing weight, I just couldn't imagine that's the reason why. I mean, it's just because I don't feel like I want to do it doesn't mean it's not doable. Rest 10 breaths and go again. And if you're wondering why I don't bend over further, because I used to, and the only thing I ever felt was strain in my lower back. I never felt it in my lats. Like if I bend too far forward, I have a long torso, so it just puts all the load on my back and my hips, and I don't ever feel it in my lats. I don't feel it anywhere in my back. I just feel strain in my low. So when I stay a little bit more upright, I can actually pull with my lats. And it changes everything. For years, I did the whole completely bent over thing, you know, and it was just discomfort down here. Now I don't do that, and I can feel my lats the whole entire time. I don't know how many that was, but long enough. Okay, going to do another rest. I try to get as many sets as I can until I can't get 5, so yeah, once I hit 5 for a minimum, that's it. So I just got 7. This is probably my last one. The reason why I don't cut this part out of the video is because I want you guys to see the actual length of my rest pauses and the way I actually do my top sets. So I think that some people try to like pull a fast one on their top sets and they splice it, or they just don't show it. They talk about what they do, but they don't ever actually show what they do. I think it's very convenient how you can tell everybody else how they need to do it, but never actually truly show your setup or how you do it or what you're doing. And then what you're doing now may not be what you did to get your results either. So it's kind of one of those things. It's easy to look at the big guys and be like, well, what are they doing? But it's like, is that what they did now? Or was it something completely different that they're doing? I mean, even their food changes. If you're 200 pounds, you can't eat like a 300-pound bodybuilder, so why would you train like one, right? Well, it's like, whether the training stimulus shouldn't change, just the diet. But as you get bigger and the weights get heavier, technically you could do less work because the load is coming from the weight, not the volume. And then there's vice versa. When you get older, like, high weight's not important. There's so many variables. And it's like, how many sets does it take? Or how many are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to do 3 sets or 6 sets? Is it 2 sets or 1 set? Do you count warm-up sets or do you not count warm-up sets? Is a warm-up set a set or is it not a set? Do you only count the top set? So if someone does 1 top set, is there only 1 set for the workout? As many warm-ups as it takes to get to the top set? Or is there a certain amount of warm-ups you're supposed to do to get to your top set? So it's like, I did 4 warm-ups and then 4 sets? Or is it I did 3 warm-ups and 1 set? But if you're warming up, isn't those still sets? So are you doing 4 sets or 1 set? And what is the top set? If it's rest, pause, or drop set, are those also considered sets? Or is that just 1 set? So it's stupid. It's so stupid the way it got so confusing. Back then it's like 4 sets. That's your warm-ups included. 135, 185, 225, 275. Move to the next exercise. I did 4 sets. Now it's like, no, don't count the warm-ups. You did 3 warm-ups in 1 set. Get out of here with that. You're just trying to overcomplicate stuff and it doesn't need to be that complicated. How many sets? As many as it takes. How much weight? As much as you can do properly. Okay, I'm gonna do some close grip now. I like doing close grip movements. I really do. I used to always do super wide when I was younger, and everyone always told me if you want to go wide, you got to get wide. So I went wide on everything, and turns out that wasn't true. If you want to get wide, you have to train your lats, and you can train your lats from either going wide or going narrow. It really honestly depends on where your elbow position is, what you hit in your back, to be honest. If you pull in tight, you get your lats. If you pull out wide, you get more of your middle back. If you don't believe me, try it and you'll see what I'm talking about. I just try to feel it in the back. It's like, oh, cool, today I got that, L5. That L5 was really getting hit hard today, man. I'm doing that spine training today. You don't want to skip spine day. It's important. All right, we're going for 8 to 20. See if we even get 6. Okay, there was some for a few. I think I got like 10 or something. Yeah, more than 6, less than 15, somewhere around 10. Good enough. There's a controversy if you should like lean forward and stretch with this, or if you should just stay upright, right? Whenever I was younger in the gym, the census was to stay upright. And then it became this big like stretch into it. And the one I think is the most important is the one that you need the most of. I don't think there's a right or wrong way. I think they're both incredibly beneficial, and I think they both have their place. And in fact, honestly, switching up every workout, if you're doing these regularly, from the stretch to the fixed position, stretch, fixed position, I don't see anything wrong with that. I even think maybe doing 2 sets fixed, 2 sets stretched, or every other set, stretch, fix. I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. I think you would reap the benefits of both worlds all together, like that training high volume and high intensity together, doing both alternating exercises or days and stuff like that. I think people get too caught up on a one-sided road, like a one-way street, and they put their blinders on and they can't see past that, and it's just like they get tunnel vision. And tunnel vision is great, but if you're missing out on a lot of opportunities for growth because of something, it's not a good thing. I actually think leaning forward with it, you could build momentum. So it's like a way of doing cheat reps. I'll show you what I mean on this one right here. I can pull with my hips, my lower back out of the hole, taking a lot of the starting position strain off of the lats and waiting to engage them till through the movement. And then just using the lats to control the load and not move the load. Also doing seated cable rows, a big problem people make is they pull with their arms. You shouldn't pull with your arms. You should contract your back and then pull, right? Contract here, elbows not moving, shoulders pulling back and contracting like you're shrugging your shoulder blades, and then boom, 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 not this. If you're doing this, you're pretty much just hitting your biceps. But if you pull and contract the shoulder blades as far back and then pull with the arms, and it might look like you're doing one motion, but you'll know because you'll feel the stop and then you change over to keep the movement fluent. So it's like when you're doing low bar squats, there's a point where you shift the load to your hips and your hamstrings, and then from your hips to your hamstrings to your quads. And it's a 2-part movement, but you do it so fluently, you don't notice it when you're powerlifting, and you practice that. Same thing for this. And if you're doing this and wondering why your back's not getting bigger, it's because you're training your arms, and that's why your biceps and forearms are hurting. But if you contract first and then pull, you'll see the difference. What I really love about this machine right here is when I first got it, I actually hated it because I actually wanted the one that had the chest pad that supported me so I could really pull and bear down into it. And I said I got this one and I really hated it, and I figured out why. I had the seat down too low, so my arm was like up here. And then once I put the seat up high and I thought about mimicking a dumbbell row, it felt just like a dumbbell row, like 100% identical to a dumbbell row. And then I fell in love with it. Like, this is amazing. I don't have to do dumbbell rows. And this is the perfect arc like a dumbbell row, and it's identical to it. So I actually really love this. I still want to get the piece of equipment that has the chest pad, the seated low ISO row with the chest pad. But like this one right here is its own animal, and I actually love it now that I've kind of learned how to use it. And that's the thing about equipment, just because you didn't like it the first time around, it might just be the seat position or your arm or elbow position you figured out. And a lot of guys on this say like to get this deep fall stretch, but I feel like if I get too big of a stretch on this, it actually takes the pressure off of my lat and it puts it on my rear delt. So if I go too deep, I feel like everything transfers to my shoulders. So I don't do that deep stretch. I try to stay mid-range and top range of the motion. And I feel that at my lat, from my armpit all the way down to like my hip, to like my lat insertion. And the thing about it too is like when I pull, I imagine pushing my elbow down to the ground and then tucking it into my side. So I'm imagining I'm pushing my elbow down and in, and that engages my lat. If I put my elbow high and out, I feel shoulder. But if I push in and down, I feel it in my lats. Now, even though I'm on a strict plane of motion and I can't actually move my arm in that plane, by trying to pull in that position is how I engage the lat like that. If I don't pull down and in, I won't get my lat like I do. And I know it's like, well, it doesn't look like you're doing that. Well, of course not. It's just how you're flexing the muscle to engage it, right? Oh, I feel so good. I love it so much. Okay, let's do some flexing. That is probably the worst part of the whole entire night, is taking that shirt off, all sweaty and clammy. Okay, let's see what this fat body looks like. Okay, it's starting to get a little bit leaner there, and I hate it how the shadowing doesn't portray it on both thighs. All right, let's do some thighs and abs. Haha, none. My waistline does look like it's coming in. Or maybe just my lats are going further out. I'm definitely getting flatter, that's for sure. Every Monday I'm looking thinner and thinner in my muscle mass. I'm definitely feeling the effects of the cut when it comes to being depleted early on, even after a high carb day. It's still not enough to fill me out completely. Okay, let's move this camera. I like this angle better than that angle, but it just shows the difference in lighting. That's why I like to do two different positions. And remember, yesterday was my high carb day, so I'm definitely puffy. It's my favorite pose right here. Get that lat out there. And then for those two poses, you have to have lats, right? You got to have a lat to be able to come out, and then you have to be able to have a lat to come out. And if you don't have that lat right there, this pose is not going to look right. That's what ties everything in. That's why I like that one, because it shows how big the mass of the leg is. It shows how wide the lat is. And then the tie-in of the shoulders to the arms, to the chest. It's just a beautiful pose. This is a bad angle with lighting from my back though. I get washed out real bad. You can see the thickness in the lat right there. Again, this washes my hamstrings out and my quads. If I did this pose in the other position with the lighting, you would see the separation of the hamstring to the quad and everything going on there, but the lighting washes everything out. When I come down like that? Yeah. If I was in the other lighting, it'd be even better, you know? Huh? My lat? Yeah. Oh, that's my balance. I can't wait till I can do this one right here. And that looks right. But that one is a abdominal. This is definitely an abdominal pose right here. Lat and abdominal. Vacuum pose. Vacuum. That's it. That's it. That's as much as I got for the vacuum pose. All right. I think that's enough. I'll do this one real quick. All right, let me do my cardio. So this is the part of the program that you start to get flat. There's a point in time where your muscles will not be able to hold their fullness, and they're not going to stay nice and thick and juicy and plump, and you're going to start looking flat and deflated earlier and earlier in the week, even after a high carb day. And that's what just happened to me today. So I was up by 12 on Sunday night, down by 5 this morning, and my weight dropped even more throughout the day. When I got to my third meal of the day and I weighed in, I was just curious, I was 232. So that's a huge drop. My body is absorbing what it can, but you need longer than 1 day to restore glucose in the muscle, especially when you get right back to doing cardio and heavy weight training. You just deplete so fast, but it's supposed to happen that way, because that means that your body is burning through the glucose like it's supposed to, then it's shifting over to fat storages for weight loss. And then the take is going to be, you look flat and you look stringy, but your body is doing that because it's not holding on to the carbohydrates and it's burning them very, very rapidly. It means that I could probably get away with eating more carbs throughout the day, or I could probably do 2 high carb days, but I'm in a cut. So it'd be kind of stupid for me to increase to 2 high carb days. So if anything, if I lose another 3 pounds this week, I might have to look at bumping my carbs up by maybe 30 a day to see if I can slow that down, bring some of the fullness back to make sure that I have the energy to keep pushing through my workouts. Now, don't get me wrong, I could go up on protein because I'm getting 200 grams of direct protein, so I could go to like 225, and that might be what I need more than the carbs, but the carbs give me energy for the workouts. So I'd rather be able to push harder in the gym and do my cardio without feeling like I'm dying from it. So it's like the best thing to do when something's working is nothing. So since I'm losing 1.5 to 3 pounds of weight right now a week, all my measurements on my arms and legs have been the same, and my waistline's the only thing that's really coming down dramatically. I could overthink it and be like, I have to do all this stuff, I have to slow it down, I have to add this or add that or change this or change that. But the best course of action is nothing, because what I'm doing is working so efficiently. If I change anything, I'm just ruining what I've worked so hard to make happen. So it's like, why would you slow your progress down deliberately? Well, I don't want to burn muscle mass. That's true. I don't want to burn muscle mass, but you can't really do both efficiently at the same time. So ultimately what it comes down to is getting to my goal. So I just have to watch the numbers on the tape measure, watch the numbers on the scale, make sure I'm eating enough food to not lose muscle mass, and I can work out. And as long as I have energy to be in the gym to work out really hard and do my cardio, I'm on the right track, especially when my measurements aren't going down on my arms or my legs or my shoulders. So it's like, don't fix what's not broken. It's the simplest thing to do. And sometimes it's the hardest, is to not change anything. So I'm just gonna keep trucking along, getting these results and seeing where it takes me at the end of this this 84 days and 12 weeks. Trying to get out of the whole fat and gross category to maybe just gross and not so fat. But okay, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one, hopefully.